"You're not good enough for this family." My mother-in-law said that to me 3 days after the wedding. At the time, I told myself she didn't mean it. Maybe she was stressed. Maybe I was overthinking. I wasn't. My name is Emily, and I didn't marry into a family. I married into a test. I was never meant to pass. When I moved into my husband Jake's childhood home, it was supposed to be temporary, just until we saved for our own place, he said. That was a year ago. From day one, Carol, my mother-in-law, made it clear this wasn't my home. I woke up at 5:30 every morning to make breakfast before she came downstairs. If the coffee wasn't strong enough, she'd dump it in the sink. If the laundry wasn't folded her way, she'd redo it while sighing loud enough for the neighbors to hear. And she always said it sweetly. That was the worst part. "Oh, honey, in this family, we actually take care of our husbands." Like I wasn't. Jake, he'd just freeze. He's not a bad man. He just grew up believing silence keeps the peace. I tried everything. I cooked her favorite meals, drove her to doctor's appointments, listened to stories about how women used to be stronger. Nothing was ever enough. One night, we had family over. Aunts, cousins, everyone. I spent 6 hours cooking, set the table, cleaned the house top to bottom. Right before dinner, Carol laughed and said loudly, "Emily's still learning. She wasn't exactly raised to run a household." The room got quiet. I felt every pair of eyes on me. I swallowed it, like always. But the control didn't stop there. She monitored everything. What I wore, who I went out with, how often I visited my own parents. When I mentioned applying for a marketing job downtown, she looked at Jake and said, "In this family, wives don't neglect their homes to chase careers." Neglect. That word sat heavy in my chest. Jake didn't say anything. Again, the breaking point came on a random Tuesday. She was on the phone with a neighbor, not realizing I was in the hallway. She laughed and said, "I give it 2 years. She won't last." Something inside me snapped. Not loudly, quietly. I walked into the kitchen and said calmly, "If you have doubts about me, you can say them to my face." She looked stunned. Jake looked terrified. But I kept going. I have bent myself in half trying to earn respect in his house. But respect isn't something you hand out conditionally. My voice was shaking. "I am not your competition. I am your son's wife, and I deserve to be treated like a human being, not a house guest on probation." Silence. Real silence. Jake finally spoke. "Mom, this has to stop." It wasn't a speech. It wasn't dramatic. But it was the first time he chose us. We moved out 2 months later. Small apartment, second floor walk-up, thin walls, but it's ours. Carol still makes comments sometimes, still plays the victim, but here's what changed. I stopped shrinking. I took the marketing job. Jake started therapy, and for the first time, our marriage feels like a partnership, not a performance. Because being a daughter-in-law doesn't mean surrendering your identity, and loving someone shouldn't require disappearing. If standing up for myself makes me difficult, then I guess I finally am.